How we doing, YouTube? This is SS Low Blue from Team Hypnotik, and today we are talking Banlist predictions. We're likely going to get a list, hopefully right after YCS Vegas. So we're kind of getting ahead of things, talking about what we'd like to see. So this will be a little bit of wish list, a couple hot takes maybe, and a few that I think feel pretty logical. It's not going to be a real long one, but we're going to get right into this. The first one is the obvious hit to Ryzeal. We've already seen the OCG do this. In fact, over there, Bonfire is at 1 and X is at 1. I am not of the mind that Konami is going to just kill this yet, especially with there being new Ryzeal cards on the horizon. So I feel like the Bonfire limit is logical, feasible, practical. I don't see them hitting X yet. That said, we saw Tenpai get hit really quick, and then hit a second time. So it's certainly possible. So it's not out of the realm of possibility we might see Bonfire and X go to 1. I don't think there's any other real meaningful hits in the main deck right now. That said, one of the other obvious hits to Ryzeal for the extra deck would be potentially banning Mirrorlogic Aggregator. Aggregator has a lot of impact. It's way too easy to throw away with X right now. Eclipse is very good, but Eclipse doesn't have quite the same impact that Aggregator does. So, do I think banning Aggregator is the answer? Not necessarily. I don't know that it makes a huge difference, but it certainly would make the deck feel a little more manageable. I apologize. We're going to circle back to limits on this one. This one was a little bit of a wish list from Legacy, but he believes Summon Limit could come back in this format. I don't see it happening. I don't think Floodgates are very healthy for the game. Seems like Konami's attitude the last couple formats has been similar, getting rid of, not so much getting rid of, but we limited Rivalry, we limited Gozen, I believe we limited Tikaboo. So they're kind of, seems like they're moving away from Floodgates. If that's the case, I would not expect Summon Limit to come back. But it's not outside the realm of possibility. Another ban that I think would be meaningful right now would be Moon in the Closed Heavens. She makes the Fiendsmith engine accessible to effectively any deck that can put 2 monsters on the field before their normal summon. Or really any deck that wants to put 2 monsters on the field if they're willing to throw away their normal summon for it. A lot of people have also mentioned Requiem, and while Requiem would be a far more detrimental hit to the engine itself, I don't feel like Konami is in the business of breaking these engines down if they can avoid it. For that reason, I think it's far more likely that we see Moon of the Closed Heaven, the generic monster here, go away rather than Fiendsmith Requiem. But hey, we don't know what's going to happen. The semi-limit list, Konami's proven time and time again, they're not real big on using this in the TCG. They're a lot bigger on it in the OCG. Those who know the history will know that the semi-limit list was effectively created to rein in Destiny Hero Malicious. Since then, they've added a little bit of this and that to it. And this is going to circle back to my thoughts on the Fiendsmith engine, but adding a second Magnamut to the card pool is a slight check on the Fiendsmith engine. I don't think we're ready for Magnamut to go back to 3, but I do think we could test the waters with it at 2. And that could prove really interesting. It's just really hard to say. The Bestials put a little bit of a check on Blue Eyes as well, which, while it may not be full Tier 1 meta, the Blue Eyes deck is competing. So, there's a little bit of that. There's not much deeper thought to it there. I think we could see Magnamut come back to 2. As far as on limits, this one was another thought by Legacy, but Snake Eye Poplar. He had also thought about bringing Snake Eye Ash to 2. I think doing both of those things, unlimiting Poplar back to 3 and Snake Eye Ash to 2 would require some tinkering in the Snake Eye extra deck to avoid that deck simply coming right back into the format. Let's be serious. 2 Ash is you're basically at full power still. So do I think that's going to happen? Not necessarily. I think we're moving past this fire theme for the year, and we're going to get into some other new stuff coming out. And Konami is definitely in the business of making money, selling new sets, and trying to push new cards. This might be a little bit of a hot take. I think I don't know if it's time, but I could certainly see Red Reboot coming back. Definitely at 1. Do we need a massive check on Malice? Maybe not, but it would certainly be a check on Malice. The other one, and I think this is far more likely, and we've already seen the OCG pull the trigger on this, not to mention Konami has been in the habit of trying to take some of these old, what we call the Power 9, the ridiculously overpowered cards from the past, and trying to cycle them back into the game. And that one is Heavy Storm. I definitely think Heavy Storm has a place in this format. The two back in the day were Heavy Storm and Giant Trunade. Trunade is degenerate. It's never coming back. The ability to wipe the opponent's back row without actually losing anything of yours is too much. But Heavy Storm, it's a back and forth. You're gonna have to throw away some of your own cards. Yes, it's true that in most cases people are going to play the Heavy Storm, play their back row, and this is an evolution of the game. People don't, even back in the day, your most competitive players set their cards in main phase 2. Even before there were really effects flying around that were destroying cards during the battle phase or before the battle phase or anything like that. Even back then, all we really had was MST. I'm sure there's something I'm forgetting that dealt with the back row in the battle phase. Malevolent Catastrophe was one. But that's basically a trap Heavy Storm. So I really do think Heavy Storm could come back. I don't have a lot of other thoughts on the ban list right now. We might have some more coming, but let us know what you guys think. Tell us what kind of cards you like to see banned, what you think could come back. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And we'll catch you in the next one.